I'm sure you're all familiar with the old adage, seeing is believing, but is it really? You realize that the average person, 70% of their perception is actually sight, with the remaining 30% more or less equally divided between taste and touch and hearing and smell. And so you're actually missing an awful lot. And that doesn't even take into account that sixth sense. That thing that makes you aware of the energy that's all around you, the energy that's within you. That sixth sense that allows you to see what is coming, to sense what's out there, so that you can plan ahead and steer your course through life. You know, it's really interesting. Not one of the people that's ever walked through the door of this mother house has ever discovered that they didn't have the ability to do divination. There were quite a number of people who walked in here and didn't believe it. But once we showed them how it worked for them, because it's different for everybody, they were all amazed. Not one person didn't have that ability. And although they had different varying levels of ability, once they worked on it, by the time they got to their knighthood, they all were able to use it effectively. Every single one of them. You know, I just came back from a run. I like to go do a power walk and run 7 kilometers, and I go through the Semiano urban forest, this circular trail called the Chickadee Loop. And as it happened, I encountered 3 groups of school children out walking with teachers and probably parents. Each group was like 30 or 40 in size and filled the pathway from side to side. And here they are coming through the woods, and they're talking, and they're walking with their hands in their pockets, and they're all involved in their own little things, and so were the parents, actually. And it was immediately obvious to me with every single one of those groups that there wasn't a single person in any of those groups that was paying any attention to all of that nature, all of that stuff that was happening around them. Not one of them saw the dragonfly. Not one of them saw this feather spiraling down and saw this bird snatch it out of the air to take it away to make their nest. Not one of them saw the hummingbird. Not one of them noticed the wild rose scent, because the wild rose bushes all around them were starting to bloom. And the most amazing thing is, here I am running with this orange shirt on, and none of them saw me. I was almost on top of them before most of them got out of the way. It was an obstacle course. It was quite a challenge getting through these groups, because none of them were displaying any courtesy, and probably a large part of that was that they didn't even know I was there. They didn't hear me coming down that gravel trail jogging. They didn't see me in this. It's amazing. You know, a lot of people who come to train with the Order of Skaya think that the reason that we teach martial arts as part of the syllabus is because we're trying to make them fighters. And yes, there are certain self-defense benefits from knowing martial arts. And yes, there's a fitness benefit too, and that directly relates to one of our precepts, which is your body is your temple, care for it. But the principal reason that we're teaching it is actually related to another precept. And that precept is perceive that which is not visible to the eye. Perceive that which cannot be seen by the eye. Because being a warrior is about a state of awareness called Satori. And Satori is a state where all of your senses are working at full capacity, where they're all at 100%. And you can see the world clearly. Really be aware of what's going on around you. Sense all of that energy around you. Here's the thing, you're surrounded by energy. You have energy flowing within you. And yet, if you don't have the ability to sense that, how effective can you be in magic? Magic is energy directed by intent. If you can't sense that energy, how effective can you be? If you can't sense that energy, then the energy you're sending out is probably the energy that you have stored within you, and you act as a battery, and you wear yourself down, and you have a limited supply that you can use. But if you are aware of all that stuff outside of you, if you connect to that energy around you, you become the transformer, you become the valve, the floodgate. It flows through you. Anything is possible, and when you're done, there's no debilitation at all. And if you're out walking that path and there's someone hiding out there in the weeds and some mugger, somebody who plans to rob you, I wonder how many people who have been in that situation, have been attacked, were completely oblivious to the fact that that person was there. And yet, that person was there all along, and they had the ability to sense it. And having sensed that person could have avoided them or could have engaged in some sort of defensive activity to defeat the attack. And even by putting that awareness out there, made that attacker feel it and reassess what they're doing. Sitting in the bushes thinking, you know what? I don't think I want this one. This one doesn't feel right. This one's scary. And that's all relating simply to the ability to see, the ability to sense, the ability to use all five senses and that sixth sense, that intuition. Bruce Lee once described it this way: moving, be like water; still, be like a mirror; respond like an echo. Thanks for listening. Go out there and be glorious.